Hey everyone, Sweet Johnny Cage here, back with another guide for Final Fantasy VII Remake INTERgrade, episode Intermission, the Yuffie DLC. Before we get started, I want to thank Square-Enix for providing me with a review copy of the game. In this guide, I'm going to show you a hilariously easy strategy for Fort Condor on hard difficulty, which will let you blast through every single opponent, including the Grandmaster Chadley, netting you 70 skill points from a total of 7 manuscripts. This guide assumes that you have defeated every opponent on normal difficulty, but if you haven't, I have a walkthrough for that linked in the description below. In order to implement this strategy, you'll need to purchase the level 2 Sorcerer Board from Old Snapper and ensure that you have the Helitrooper, Guard Dog, and Elite Grenadier units in your loadout. The general idea with this strategy is to quickly push the line of scrimmage as far into your opponent's base as possible, then overwhelm them with all 3 materia spells and powerful units. You'll likely have to try a few times for each opponent, but once you get the hang of it, they'll go down pretty quickly. So with all that out of the way, I'll break down each opponent to give you some in-depth tips. First opponent is going to be Kyrie. We're doing this in the same order we did in normal mode. Kyrie is really fast, believe it or not, even though she's basically like your first opponent. You can see that her ATB bars fill really fast because they're so small. But at the start of the fight, we're putting out a Guard Dog, casting all 3 spells on the main base, and then after the Blizzard finally goes off, you'll notice that maybe the Condor has like 1 or 2 hits left. So I'm going to mess this up a little bit just because I hadn't fully figured out this strategy when I fought Kyrie or the first couple opponents. So I hadn't figured out yet what I'm going to tell you now, and that is you want to wait for your opponent's units to get into your base before you waste any time putting down your own units. And the reason for this is because, like I said, the big strategy idea here is to get the line of scrimmage to be moved as far into the opponent's base as possible. So if you're putting down units near your enemy's units, they're just going to attack each other, and that's not going to help you at all. You want to try to end these fights as quickly as possible. So I'm putting down another Guard Dog, and then that's going to attack the left turret there. And I'm just going to put down an Elite Grenadier, and then it's going to target the structure closest to it, which is the main Condor. And then unfortunately, that Grenadier is going to get blown up by everything, and then we are going to just basically try it again. So we can put a Guard Dog basically anywhere, but you do not want to put it on the same side as a barracks, because the Guard Dog will attack the first structure it can. And if you're putting it on the right side there where that barracks is, it's just going to attack the barracks and waste time. So once you have the line of scrimmage moved up again, put down another Elite Grenadier, and then one shot will kill the base. And that is Kyrie. You just want to keep in mind that this will take you a few tries, and you will have to reset on basically every opponent until you kind of get the right combination of units ready. So Johnny is the quickest opponent you will fight because you don't actually need to use any units. The altered Sorcerer Board II that he's using, the Condor has so little HP that you can just use all 3 spells, and that'll end the game. So just hold L1, move the cursor up, cast all 3 spells, and it's game over once the Blizzard explodes. That's it. That's Johnny. So he's going to be the quickest one for you. Really easy, 10 SP and those two scrolls. So next up is the Shinra Middle Manager. And this one, again, same general strategy, but he also has a quick ATB bar, so his is going to fill up pretty quickly. He's going to drop 2 units right at the start. Let those start moving into your base before you do anything. I have to use a Helitrooper here because my Guard Dog is not available yet. The Guard Dog will come up on the next turn. So I'm waiting until I have a full 7 ATB bar, or it's really full at 9, but 7 is what you need. So we're going to put out the Helitrooper, and then we're going to let that push the line of scrimmage up, and then I'm going to drop the Elite Grenadier kind of late because I was checking out what he was going to put here. It is a Sentry Ray, not a big deal. So we're putting out a Guard Dog, and then we will put out an Elite Grenadier, and then we will cast all 3 spells. And the reason that we did this is because it allowed the Guard Dog to get an attack off, and then we can cast the 3 spells and end the fight pretty quickly without having to worry about the Grenadier. Next up is Jessie. Jessie is the first kind of challenging opponent. Again, quick ATB fills, but the general strategy is the same. So we're waiting for at least 7 ATB, or close to 7, because we want to be able to drop units quickly. She starts off by putting a barracks on the left side, so we will be using the right side to drop our units and start our attack. So once you're ready, you want to put out a guard dog to start pushing up the line of scrimmage, then use all 3 spells on the Condor, drop it to pretty low HP, and then put out an Elite Grenadier. And then if you are able to, and if you need to, go ahead and put down a guard dog to clean this up really quickly. Luckily, I was able to do it before the Grenadier died, and then the guard dog was able to get 1 attack off really quickly before any of the turrets hit it. Okay, so our next opponent is going to be Roche. And Roche has a really quick board. They basically all do on hard mode, but again, general strategy remains the same. So at the start of the fight, I'm just checking to see where he's putting his units. He's going to go on the left side, so I'll go ahead and cast my 3 spells, let my ATB fill up, and then as you can see here, he's only 1 shot away. So wait until you're about to have 7, and then we're going to put down a guard dog, and then the guard dog's going to push the line of scrimmage up, and then I'm literally just holding forward on the joystick to follow the guard dog as hard as possible, and then we are going to drop an Elite Grenadier, and if we need to, luckily the guard dog is coming back up off cooldown, but we won't even need it. 1 shot from the Elite Grenadier, the base goes down, and that's Roche. The next opponent that we have to deal with is Wedge. He's using a level 3 Altered Battalion board, which is a little bit tricky. He's able to put down a lot of defensive units. You can see on his board over there is a lot of shield units. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start right off casting our 3 spells. Luckily, I cast fire early, so that Street Sweeper enemy could have blocked the fire spell. And I'll show you what to do if that does happen. It's basically you have to angle the board to get the spells out, and we're going to have to deal with that with Chadley. So we got the Helitrooper out. That's going to start attacking the turret on the right, and then we're going to put down our Grenadier, and then we will be able to also drop a guard dog in case we need. So 2 hits, and it'll go down. Luckily, with the guard dog, that's going to actually deal the final hit there, so I had a little bit of leeway there. So our final opponent, like I said, is Chadley. Chadley is really, really tough. This took me the most amount of resets, and with Chadley, he's immediately going to start off by dropping 2 barracks. So we need to be very careful of those. And so I'm going to hold off on casting spells against Chadley until the end, but you basically always want to angle the board so you can ignore the barracks, because the fire spell and the blizzard spell have a travel time. It's not an instant point and click cast. It does have to move from your base. So we're going to start off by dropping a Helitrooper that's going to fly over, push the line of scrimmage, and then we're going to put down a guard dog. This way that can push it even further. We're putting it near the middle. This way the guard dog goes after the Condor. It moves up. We cast our 3 spells. Again, see how I'm angling the camera there? I'm actually aiming to the right of the Condor, but we're going to drop a Grenadier. That's going to get 1 hit off, and that's the ball game for Chadley. So the trick is to aim to the right of the Condor. This way the spells, the reticle, the circle, is still hovering to the right of the Condor, but it's not directly on it. This allows the fire and blizzard spells to just kind of sail over the barracks and any enemies that are in the way, any enemy units, and successfully deal all its damage onto the turret. And then get your guard dog and your Elite Grenadier in there as well, using the same sort of method. And that's it. That is for Condor on hard mode. This will require a bunch of resets on basically every opponent, because you want those quick guard dog, Helitrooper, and Grenadier units to be available almost immediately. If any of those are not available within 1 turn, just reset until you're able to get them. And don't really start attacking or doing anything until you have close to 7 ATB, because you don't want to be waiting for turns when it's too late. And that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Final Fantasy VII Remake INTERgrade, Episode Intermission, or just INTERgrade in general, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Twitch, and as always, I'll speak Johnny Cage. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Just gotta figure out a way to get in on the action.